Less than 3 months away from the Trump Kennedy Center temporarily shutting down.
President Trump says it's necessary to handle a much-needed makeover. And a few hours ago, our Katie Lusso was given a behind-the-scenes tour of the building.
All right, Katie, so tell us, what did you learn about this project that's supposed to take 2 years to complete?
Yeah, 2 years. And what they shared is that the plan is to spend the first year focused on fixing structural issues, things like water, which they say is a major cause of a lot of the damage that we were shown today. The second year will be focused on public space improvements, things like seating, carpeting, and the bathrooms. Now, the tour lasted about an hour and a half and was led by Matt Floca, the recently appointed Chief Operating Officer and the executive director for the Kennedy Center. Now, we were not allowed to ask questions on camera, but were allowed to document the damage. The tour began outside the Trump Kennedy Center. We were shown the inside of one of the planters. They say much of the water damage is because of these planters that are placed around and on top of the center. They say the water from those planters has been able to get into the expansion joints and other parts of the building, causing major damage, pointing out the rust in the marble. Then we moved inside, where the conversation of water damage continued. They showed us the beams in the parking garage, took us into the electrical room, and then took us to the stage of the Opera House. They say the flooring needs to be replaced, the rigging, the door, all of it need repairs. In the theater itself, they shared new carpeting and seats will be installed. This will all be done using the $257 million provided by the Big Beautiful Bill legislation, but added that so much of the damage is because of a lack of maintenance, something President Trump has voiced previously.
The previous management left us a facility in very bad condition. Abysmal is the word.
Matt Floca, the recently appointed Chief Operating Officer and Executive Director, says they initially wanted to try and keep the building open, but realized it wouldn't be possible with all of the work needed. Through the shutdown, he says they'll maintain the memorial. Some of it will be moved into the Reach so that the public can still access it, but the JFK bust will stay where it is and nothing will change regarding the quotes on the marble outside of the building. The decision to shut down met by protests.
What's he gonna do, build another ballroom?
And pushback from some of the people who worked and even performed at the center.
No need for it to close. The carpet's brand new. They already have some things planned in the works to redo the Kennedy Center and parts of it, maintenance, so there's no reason to close it. And there are jobs, lots of jobs. People are going to lose their jobs. The economy is terrible right now.
Some have even boycotted the center since President Trump took control Wednesday, although officials did not deny that there's been obvious opposition to the new center leadership. They maintained that this shutdown is not because of a lack of sales and strictly because of the needs of this building and what they are calling major structural issues. Now, one of the questions that kept coming up and continues to come up is, what will this construction look like? They say this isn't a situation where they'll be tearing the building down. You won't be able to see through it if you look across the river. What you will see, they say, is scaffolding and signs of construction. Now, one last thing, I did ask Floca how many people will lose their jobs during this process. He didn't have an exact number for us, but described staffing as pretty bare bones. He said once they get an exact number, they will be transparent with that info. You can be sure we will be following up.